So great, wonderful. Thank you for joining today. Those in need of healing. Who's in need of healing? Yes, of course. Otherwise you would not be here. So that is incredible that we have a provision where we can come to admit, like, oh my God, I need healing. I need support. I don't know how to do this, or any of the reasons, any of the encounters that you have with yourself in whatever form, in whatever way, you know. So this is the simplicity of our meeting. It's like spiritual healing, open sessions. You're welcome. Come as you are. You don't have to behave in a certain way that you pretend to be like a spiritual superhuman being or a spiritual angel or anything. It's like no. This is humility is quite something, isn't it? It's like, no, here we are. It's there's a provision that is given to us, and we need to use that. We have no choice. We have no choice. And that is really lovely. You can't imagine that it will set you free from what seems to be so in your face right now. Right? It is the way that is. It's like unbelievable. You can't believe that this can go where you find yourself in. And to make the story better, it is already gone. So this is a rebirth. This is a refreshing, a rejuvenation, a restoring, rerouting, a recognition of what is already here. But you miss it because you hold on to something. It's like a mask on your face, as we see in this lesson. It's like as if you have a mask on your face, even to hide the hurt that lies beyond the symptoms that you are experiencing. And that's what this is about. So that's not like that you're proud of it or anything. It's like no. Like something has gone wrong. If miracles don't happen, something has gone wrong. Well, something has gone wrong. Now what? Now I need a miracle more than anything else. So, true humility, that's something else, isn't it? So we ask for that, of course, especially for you. Especially for you. And in asking for it, you can receive it immediately, because it is given. It is already given. Now I don't want to spend too much time putting into words all of this, because we know the concepts, we know perfectly well. And this is about the rubber meets the road part of it. It's like the practicality, the everyday practicality of spiritual healing, the transformational process, and your reliance on source, on what is the source of these things that you are experiencing. That's one thing that we look at. So it's like there are laws that are in action in your experience. So coming from this, what you experience right now, from this exact way that you experience yourself, these feelings, these hurts, these whatever that is connected to laws you believe reign you, like they have power over you, and you believe that. That's why you experience the consequences of it. Now, that's amazingly powerful in the sense of you believe something, and then the next part is that you actually make it manifest. And the moment that you make it manifest, you forget that you actually made it manifest. So it seems like there's a separate source that causes this, that you have nothing to say about, like literally becoming like a victim of whatever it is you are experiencing. Because your mind is so quick in twisting and turning it, and that you forgot that you did that to yourself. So now it looks like an autonomous body, for instance, or an autonomous whatever it is, that tells you, dictates you the law of medicine, or the law of whatever it is. And so this is where we find ourselves. Like, there's no two ways about it. You find yourself in the middle of that. So does that need to stay that way? No, of course not. No, there is such a thing as a miracle, and there is such a thing as the release of this law that you have believed in. And so these laws that we're talking about, the laws of medicine, the social laws, the laws of nutrition, the laws of finances, the laws of even survival, all these laws, you see that they are at work in the belief, like that's the central core of it, in the belief that there can be another will, another law on top of God's law of love. So that is, of course, impossible, because there's only one law, and that's the law of love. Like, God is universal, is everything there is omnipresence, omnipotence, omniscient. It knows everything, it is everything, it does everything, it extends everything, it creates everything in every moment, and it creates as itself. So it creates as love. Now this you forget when you think there are other laws at work, and think they say rule over the law of God, the law of love. And now here, today we use lesson 76, and basically where it comes down to, because before you start self-punishment of any kind, it says very specifically, now it's the ego mind that thinks that there can be another law, but that is not you. So it's like, that's insanity that thinks that, nothing else. Insanity thinks there's another source that can cause pain and illness, sickness, disease, disaster, and death, but there is not another will. But insanity thinks these things, and if you identify with that, you think that happens to you, and that you think that that is where you find yourself, that needs to come into expression of some kind. So here the miracle is really like the recognition that insanity thinks these things. That's not you. No, you are an extension of the love of God. God created you like itself. You are under the laws of God. So that just needs to come into your consciousness. Now here I make the bridge to the idea of consciousness. We were looking at that yesterday in our key lessons of the Infinite Way program. And you see that consciousness is everything. God consciousness is everything. The rest is not. And so God's consciousness is literally the laws of God at work in consciousness. Where else, if consciousness is everything? Now in the Course in Miracles we use more like the term whole-mindedness or totality. Like whole-mindedness is nice because in fact it brings everything back to wholeness. Wholeness knows itself to be whole. It doesn't know anything else. So, but anyway, it doesn't really matter how you call it, because you see the essence of it is this is not even about having the concepts right. That has nothing to do with it. This has everything to do with you recognizing what it is that you actually are. And so there's still, in that sense, everything in our transformational path is the same story. An answer to the question, what am I? What am I? And without you defining it, without you looking for the meaning for that, looking for a definition of that, no, who am I? Is a question that is answered in every moment, and that's coming to you by you not defining anything else. So immediately here you have the division, or the invitation not to pick up the laws of man in this, but to allow that to be given to you, what that means, what that is. So that part is like the connection with what we looked at yesterday. And yeah, I like to go further with that idea, because that's always such a short period of time that we can actually take a look at it. And now today we have a chance to do some real basic work that's in fact behind the screens. Like what are the powers at work here? What is actually where you believe in, what the consequences are of what is given to you in your own experience, and how can that change in your experience? So unless you're completely in a moment of the recognition of the laws of God, you experience the laws of man. So yeah, so we're going to start today first with the meditation. That's the lesson of today. That's a prayer lesson, and we do this very actively at the same time. It's like it's a very active lesson. It's very beautiful. It's very comforting, and it is like, okay, here I am, releasing everything that I think before, letting everything go that I think is going on, or that is preventing me from being perfectly happy right now. It's like I have to let go of that idea, because there is nothing in the way, truly. It's just insanity, that thought, these things, and that is gone, that is over. So here we enter into a present moment, and in fact open up to a moment of communion, or to communication with your source. Creation's gentleness is all I see. I've indeed misunderstood the world, because I laid my sins on it, and saw them looking back at me. How fierce they seemed, and how deceived I was to think that what I feared was in the world instead of in my mind. Today I see the world in the celestial gentleness with which creation shines. There is no fear in it. Let no appearance of my sins obscure the light of heaven shining on the world. What is reflected there is in God's mind. The images I see reflect my thoughts, yet is my mind at one with God's, and so I can perceive creation's gentleness. In quiet would I look upon the world, which but reflects your thoughts, and mine as well. Let me remember that they are the same, and I will see creation's gentleness. Thank you. Thank you. So this is the start. So we always come back to this. It's like giving it a moment to dislodge from the laws of the world, from the laws that you made up in your mind, from the laws that actually are giving you the experience that you had a moment ago. So now, what we do here, what we are continuing to do, and this is in the exercises that we do, in the things that we listen to, is in fact allow ourselves to relax into that, to relax into it is okay to dislodge from the laws of the world for a moment. Like not to go into fight to it, not to fight your preoccupations or not to do anything of that. Like, no, this is really about relaxing into the idea that you don't need those laws any longer. It's like there's nothing lost by letting those go. But not as a matter of that you did something wrong, not as a matter of it's not working and now it must be because I do something wrong or anything. It's like, no, not at all. So this is really entering into the love of God. It's like, no, relax in this. You start to relax in the certainty that God is here. This is everything that there is. Like it says in the reviews of the first 50 lessons, like illusions are strong in their effects. This is the truth. It's really, you know this, like there's no doubt about that expression. So the shift in that, like the shift in the believing in the illusion, releasing it and coming to an experience of truth is really a miracle. You cannot do that. You cannot do that. You can try hard and you can try very hard. You can wait for it. You can do whatever you want. But basically, the invitation is to relax into letting go of the laws of the world for just a moment. So, in fact, to put down put up your sword is like the expression. It's like not to fight it, not to accept it as illusion, as truth. No, not that either. So it's like you relax into it. And that's just giving it a moment for change, so that it can change. So that's why there's always an invitation to be gentle with yourself. Like, this is really important. Don't fight yourself. Don't attack yourself. Don't think that if something goes wrong that you're the fault of it or anything like that. It's like, no, nothing went wrong. Now here's an opportunity to relax into a certainty that is beyond your ideas, but is really there. But you can only feel that, come in touch with that, when you relax your ideas about what you think is going on, how you are functioning in that, what the result of your functioning would be, and how wrong or how well that goes, like if there's still a matter of judgment connected to it, and then you cannot experience that. That is how simple that is, but that's also the difficulty. We have been fighting ourselves forever. It's like we have been fighting ourselves. You have been doing that. You have been attacking yourself. Who else is doing that? It's like we did all these things. Now, that wasn't the solution either. Now what? Now we hear what? Now that is given to us, to what to do then. If I cannot attack myself, what can I do? Where do I need to go? Or what needs to happen? Like all these things, very normal thoughts, as in your process, very normal thoughts. Everyone has them, of course. Like what am I supposed to do? It doesn't seem to work. And this doesn't seem to open up, or this does, blah, blah, blah. With all your concerns, all your ideas about the process also. It's like, relax in this. Try to release your concern with that, or your the activity of mind that tries to prove that something is working or not. Either way, it doesn't matter. You know, so that is your entering into like an oasis of, all right, I'm stepping back out of this. It's a real true forgiveness in that sense. So you step back out of it. You don't know. You can't get out of it. You don't know how to do that. Here you are. In a real, true humility, you step back and say like, okay, well, show me. I don't know. I'm at the end of things here. I don't know how to do this. So it is so lovely. So if you can listen like that or as that, give it a try. It's really worth it. So I'm going to share with you some expressions from lesson 76. There are no laws but God's. Which God's law is the law of love. It's not a law of anything else. It's like, no, love is all there is. So this is the law of love. Basically, it has no law. It is everything there is. So the same invitation. Give yourself a moment to relax into this, what is being shared. Laws of love. That's a free translation of the laws of God. I am under no laws but God's. We have observed before how many senseless things have seemed to you to be salvation. And it's like that's non-stop, isn't it? It's like continuously you think, oh, this might help. Oh, this might be better. Oh, if I do that, then. Like you formulate your future. Don't underestimate the insanity level here of your mind. It's like you can easily formulate your salvation in totally different ways. Within 1 minute, you can do that at least 10 times, like completely different things that you think is salvation. And you notice when you take a look at your mind and what it is doing, you can actually see that it does those things. So, which is pretty amazing. What I'm trying to say here is this: it's like, that's an ongoing process. It's not that your mind stops doing it. No, the mind perceives a problem and it keeps generating solutions. Like whether they make sense or not, whether they are controversial, whether they are contradicting, whether they are this or that. Like it does not stop. It sees a problem and there it goes. So when you recognize this in your mind training, when you start to recognize this, then you can be free of that. But here, I know I speak to the choir, so to speak. You know all about this. Like you perceive one problem, you have one issue. You define one issue. What does your mind do? It keeps generating solutions, keep generating options, and it exhausts you till you have to let go of them, because you don't believe in any of them anymore. You try some and then you see like, no, they don't work. You try some more and they really don't work. Now here are some more and they don't work either. And that until you're done with it, you keep looking for them. See, this is all within the sphere of the human laws, of the insanity that you literally are exposing yourself to, yourself in your awareness of yourself. You see that happening in your mind and you follow that and you engage in it and you really think for a moment that it's going to be a solution. Now this is the part where you in fact pull yourself out of, when you say like, oh, stop, I don't want any of this anymore. Wait, there must be a different way. Now when you ask for a different way, the mind says, oh, I get some options here, you might try this. And there it starts again. Until you say like, no, I really don't want to listen to this. There must be a different way. And now my mind is open to receive something new. Like, but only then. this is how sneaky the mind works, you could say, how the ego mind works. It keeps generating so-called solutions because it doesn't want the solution. It wants to continue the problem. That's its goal, is to continue the problem. So you will never get out of it, because then you're occupied, and then in fact you need it for the solutions that it brings. It is not the solution, but it keeps generating ideas. This is your ego mind. It's completely wacko. It's completely insane. It keeps unasked. It keeps generating ideas, solutions, salvation, formulation, all this, and that keeps on going. So here's you say to your consciousness, like, wait a minute, I'm not going to listen to these thoughts. And the first thing that happens is, well, if you don't listen to those thoughts, I have some other options that you might want to take a look at. Like, it immediately comes with more, because now it is obstructed, and it starts to even yell louder. It's like, well, you have to use this. You have no other options. Or who knows, like, it becomes like a frantic anxiety that comes to you, unless you really start to say, like, well, I need help here. I cannot get myself even out of my battle here in my own mind. How am I supposed to do this? So all these actions that you take, like, stop, I cannot do this anymore, there must be something else, is literally like a cry to spirit, a cry for help. I can't do this anymore. I've had moments where I said that literally changed my whole setup, my whole life changed in that one instant that I said, I can't do this anymore. Literally from that moment on, things started to fall into place. So it's like it is that powerful to use it, because you release your obsession with solutions that don't bring you anything, but just keep you busy in frantic search. So this is really like the amazing psychology of awakening, you could say. It's unbelievable what the ego mind offers on a continuing basis, and you don't have to listen to it at all, of course not. So here we go, the next part. We have observed before how many senseless things have seemed to you to be salvation. Each has imprisoned you with laws as senseless as itself. You're not bound by them. Yet to understand that this is so, you must first realize salvation lies not there. Salvation lies not there. Not in the solutions that you can come up with your ego generator, solution generator. It's like, no, that's not where salvation lies. Has nothing to do with it. While you seek for it in things that have no meaning, you bind yourself to laws that make no sense. While you seek for it in things that have no meaning, you bind yourself to laws that make no sense. Okay, so going really deeply into it today. It's like, this is so essential. So while you seek for it, you bind yourself to things that are connected to it. Like, you can almost feel the field where you're entering into in your frantic search. That's a whole field of impossibility. Like, there's a whole field of no solution whatsoever. You feel the emptiness of it. You hear yourself say out loud the solutions that you want to work, like you scream at yourself wanting that to work, and it will never, the only thing you hear is the reflection of your scream, but nothing seems to happen, like a complete empty vessel, like completely empty. There's nothing there. That is the experience, in fact, of asking for help in a place where it cannot be found. It is completely empty. It doesn't do anything else than reflecting back as an echo your cry for help. You're wanting salvation to come from the place that it can never come from. While you seek for it in things that have no meaning, you bind yourself to laws that make no sense. Thus do you seek to prove salvation is where it is not. Today we will be glad you cannot prove it. Okay, so thus do you seek to prove salvation where it is not. Now, you seek for salvation where it cannot be, okay, and actually you know that. That makes you even more angry that it does not work the way that you thought it would work. It does not work, and it drives you mad. It drives you mad because you want it to work. You want it to work so badly. That's why you keep investing in it. That's why you're not wanting to give into it, like literally forgive yourself that you have chosen that. That's a real important part too. It's like you prove it to yourself that it works. You want it to work so badly, but that's only because you feel it doesn't work. That's called denial. So enough of that foolishness. I will say something like that in the next line. Today we will be glad you cannot prove it. Now, talking about speeding up time in your transformation, to admit that it doesn't work instead of proving that it works is the quick way. You save yourself a lot of time. You don't have to prove any longer that it's working or not working, which is the same idea. For if you could, you would forever seek where it is not and can never find it. The idea for today tells you once again how simple is salvation. For look for it where it waits for you, and there it will be found. Look nowhere else, for it is nowhere else. Yeah? So it's like stating the obvious, really. This is so obvious when you read it. It's like, yeah, of course, yeah. You look for salvation where it is, not where it isn't. Otherwise you could never find it. Like, there, that makes total sense. See, this is you have to laugh at yourself. Because you cannot stop your mind from looking for solutions, but then the place where you look for solutions can never be the answer. And you know that that is true, but you prove to yourself that this time it will be different. And it isn't. And finally you come to the place where you admit it. Then you hopefully can laugh about it, about the foolishness you were following, recognizing that it actually didn't have anything to do with you, but your belief that it would work. So it's like there's nothing, no one to blame. You just recognize that you made a mistake and leave that. You don't have to do anything with that anymore. Where it waits for you, and there it will be found. Look nowhere else, for it is nowhere else. It is insanity that thinks these things, like the things that are not helpful, the things that this is your salvation in a place where there is no salvation. You call them laws and put them under different names in a long catalogue of rituals that have no use and serve no purpose. You think you must obey the laws of medicine, of economics, and of health. Protect the body and you will be saved. These are not laws, but madness. But see, if you believe in it, you're going to prove that they're actually working. Right? So here you don't have to fool yourself. You see what you're doing. Protect the body and you will be saved. These are not laws, but madness. But you want them to be laws and you want them to work. Yet at the same time you feel they don't work. But then also you don't know what then. Because that's the next step. The body is endangered by the mind that hurts itself. Yeah, the body is endangered by the mind that hurts itself. The body suffers that the mind will fail to see it is the victim of itself. The body suffers that the mind will fail to see it is the victim of itself. The body's suffering is a mask the mind holds up to hide what really suffers. This body's suffering is a mask the mind holds up to hide what really suffers. It would not understand it is its own enemy, that it attacks itself and wants to die. It is from this your laws would save the body. It is for this you think you are a body. Now, I think this is one of the most fundamental body-related paragraphs from the whole Course in Miracles. The body is endangered by the mind that hurts itself. The body suffers that the mind will fail to see it is the victim of itself. The body's suffering is a mask that the mind holds up to hide what really suffers. It would not understand it is its own enemy, the mind is its own enemy, that it attacks itself and wants to die, that it is from this your laws would save the body. It is for this you think you are a body. So why do you think you are a body? Why do you think you are a body? That is because you believe there's such a thing as death. Now, I don't want to go conceptually really into that, because that would be useless. Like the hardest thing, and you recognize that too, the hardest thing is to honestly listen to this and actually take it in as that it's about you, how you deal with the idea of body and how you actively use the body. You think you can openly take a look at that? That would be wonderful. But like I said, it might not be so easy to listen to that. Like you might miss it. You might miss it, what it actually says. The mind puts up a mask, like it literally uses the body to prove that it's attacked by the body. Now it fools itself like double. The mind fools itself. Because, why does it do that? Because it defends itself in its own ideas about what it thinks it is. Like the ego mind, you could say, the insanity that thinks these things, is literally like dictating that is how it is, with the solution given to you, like the solution in the ego's way of looking at it, is death. Because then finally you're free of the pain that has been so too much. Finally you're the end of suffering. Finally this, finally that, like the answer to every problem that the ego is describing would be death. Then it would be over. Great, we got it. And this is like, there's no such thing as death. That's why this is a complete fake, you could say. It's a complete fake setup. And you participate in it a little bit, you make it real for yourself, and you start to believe that that is really true. That's the thing. But now, when you see what your mind does, when you do the mind training, when you discover the thoughts I'm thinking are meaningless, they don't tell me anything useful for me. I've been relying on them, thinking that that's all there is, but it's not. It doesn't tell me anything about myself. No, it's only upsetting me on a continuing basis, trying to, in fact, coming to the formulation that the only way for me, in fact, to be free of all the suffering that I'm undergoing is to be dead. And that makes the whole story incomplete. That's why it's so great that we have like the teaching of one who resurrected, which is you resurrecting. Like, it's so great to have the instruction to be lifted out of this, out of this whole construct, because that is what needs to happen. And what did happen? So it was successful, and you were saved out of it. And you say like, well, I'm not experiencing that right now. It's like, that doesn't matter. That doesn't take away that it is accomplished. And by relaxing more and more into this, you get every opportunity to experience the reality that this is really true, that this is actually working in you every moment. But it needs to go past your defenses. Like it needs to go past your whole world of law that you believe in and see at work and get the confirmation that it works like that. You need to go past that all the time in order to come to a different experience of yourself. Now this is what I try to say, like I don't want to conceptually go too deep into this, because this is really about the experience of allowing yourself to undergo a release of holding on to these laws that you made up, to the laws of medicine, the laws of finances, the laws of who knows what. Like all the things that you can come up with to defend yourself as being justified in your misery. Like all of that is a terrible setup with no win situation at all. It's only pointing in one direction, and which is death. So that is something that does not exist and has no effect at all. So it's pointing at nothing. And here we come back again to this one expression. It's like, in order to come to the place where salvation is, if you want to experience salvation, you have to come to the place where it can be found, which is not in the world, which is not outside of you, which is not as you might have imagined it. No. It will be given to you when you go within. It will be given to you when you ask for the miracle and say like, I don't want any of this anymore. Now, I don't know. From here, I don't know anymore. Show me. I need help here. There must be an alternative to this. It's like when Helen Schuckman was asking that, was saying that to Bill before they downloaded or scribed the Course in Miracles. They were both sitting in their offices, looking at the patients that would go home, but then after a couple of months would return back into their office with more complications, with more difficulties, seeing that it wasn't like an endless story, that nothing really truly changed by them being the therapists. And they said to one another, there must be a different way. Now this was exactly the moment that in fact the download started of A Course in Miracles. So that's just a look what happens when you allow that. It's like, look what happens when you start to open up your consciousness to the alternative, as we say, like invite it in as your reality. Look what happens. Like literally a whole universe opens up to help you in a broad sense of you, and not as an individual situation, but first totally as an individual situation. Like it's going to change something for you in a way that you cannot imagine, but you're absolutely entitled to it. It is specifically for you. The body is endangered by the mind that hurts itself. The body suffers, that the mind will fail to see it is victim of itself. Like it's really a distraction. That's why I say like the pain that you are experiencing, or whatever the hurt is that you are experiencing, is in fact not what it appears to be. Because the body cannot have that. So the mind has given that. But it wants to not see that. The body's suffering is a mask the mind holds up to hide what really suffers. It would not understand it is its own enemy, that it attacks itself and wants to die. It is from this your loss would save the body. and it is for this you think you are a body. So there are no laws but God's. Dismiss all foolish magical beliefs today, and hold your mind in silent readiness to hear the voice that speaks the truth to you. You will be listening to one who says there is no loss under the laws of God. Payment is neither given nor received. Exchange cannot be made. There are no substitutes, and nothing is replaced by something else. God's laws forever give and never take. So there are no laws but God's. Dismiss all foolish magical beliefs today, and hold your mind in silent readiness to hear the voice that speaks the truth to you. You will be listening to one who says there is no loss under the laws of God. Payment is neither given nor received. Exchange cannot be made. There are no substitutes, and nothing is replaced by something else. God's laws forever give and never take. So these are the laws of love. They only give and never take. So before we enter into our non-public part, I want to take a moment to relax a little, to let this just process a bit, and to come from this relaxation back together in a moment that we spend together in some kind of way. I will give you further instructions in a moment.